out there in YouTube land, to the YouTube family, friends, and whoever, my enemies, whoever I got out there. Anyway, I'd like to say if you're here at this channel, you're here at this channel because you like and you appreciate true critical thinking. Listen, I seem to have a habit of just like kind of getting right into the topic, and I'm doing somewhat of a carryover. This is kind of somewhat of a series, so to speak. I guess I didn't start out that way. I guess I should have planned it that way in the beginning, because this is part 2 on how black people kind of like connected to the white liberal and how we developed a relationship with the Democratic Party, so to speak, or the DNP, the Democratic National Party, and how we also connected to this guy that nobody seems to identify or can identify, the white liberal. Let me kind of touch on that before I get into weaving this tale for you. I know in my videos I kind of bounce around here and there, but like I tell you, my conversations, I kind of like to relate them to the action inside of an atom. Yeah, the atom is a lot of bouncing around, going all kind of directions. But the one thing that's a fact, the atom ends up going into the right direction. And the atom everything is made up of atoms. We don't see atoms, and at least I don't know what they look like, but for whatever reason, I do know there's a lot of activity going on inside them. And my conversations are kind of going to be going that way. I bounce around, but I tie stuff together, trust me. And I'm going to tie things together in this tale as I give you about the Democratic Party, the white liberal, and what my mission is concerning the white liberal. Because if you saw my last video, I pretty much felt like the black conservatives are not living up to their end of us having to advance through this political arena. Like I stated in my last video, we're really babes in the woods politically. And as I stated in a video earlier, for black people who don't understand what politics are, politics is war without bloodshed. So this is why we have to get serious about politics, black people. It's war without bloodshed, according to Chairman Mao. So we have to start taking politics more serious. Now I know we just got into politics and it was new to us. It's still a little bit new. Some of our leaders we picked got blinded by the power, the hype, the money, all that stuff. But now we can at least now understand what we need to demand from the politicians we pick. And we need to get more serious about learning the rules and the laws of politics. So let me get right on into the Democratic National Party and how we got involved. So you got to understand something. From like 1832 up until 1964, believe it or not, the Democratic Party was controlled by a group called the White Citizens Council, which that group kind of went on to become Republicans, pretty much. But it's all philosophical. See, let me get a point. Help you understand something here. When we're talking about white conservatives, or AKA white supremacy, or even the so-called liberal liberal man. Listen, look past all that, because you're not talking about a particular person. You have to understand it's a way of thinking, you know. See, all this stuff, and that's a whole way down the line too. It's like the devil. There's no such thing as a devil. It's the way you behave, the way you think that makes you a devil. You understand what I'm saying? And it's the way you behave, the way you think that makes you a white conservative. And the two groups, because let me also add along in this video as well. We're going to be going into religious backgrounds on the two groups. You know, there's going to be some tax and some math information involved. And I'm telling you, I'm going somewhere with this. Trust me, people. See, first of all, before we get off into the liberal, let's first understand the idea of the White Citizens Council. They were Southern people who were pro-slavery and had been now just still pro-Jim Crow. See, 1964, there ain't no Jim Crow. The Jim Crow mindset is there. The laws are beginning to break down. They ain't completely broke down, especially in Mississippi. And that's where the control of the Democratic Party came from, through Mississippi. See, a lot of people don't want to tell you all these groups are just about all these groups in America. I don't care who they are. Be the liberal. I don't care. Be the feminist. I don't care. Be white women. The white feminists, they owe their freedom to black people. I don't want to go into all of that, but I'm stating a fact that is true. And right now, I'm not going to go into it on this video, but I'll prove it later on down the line. Trust me, I don't make these kind of statements that I can't back up. Not on this channel here. So, praises to these two black women who came through with the right organization skills. Sister Ella Baker, who was crucial in the helping the young black people in Washington, D.C. to develop SNCC, her organizing skills. She took those same skills to Mississippi and joined forces with another brave black woman and people in the state of Mississippi, Sister Fannie Lou Hamer. All praises and respect to her spirit. To both those women, respect. They went in there and organized a group and got on the ticket in their district, along with President Johnson, of course, and Hubert Humphrey. And they went in there and riding on their backs, they came in. The white liberal, he came in. Yes, he did. He came in. And these people, see, the white liberal comes from not the same religious background as the white conservative. The white conservative is a WASP from the white Anglo-Saxon Protestants. Check it out for yourself. That's the ruling ideology over there on the right. The majority of them are WASP, and they broke away from the Roman Catholic Church. Their ideology. The two churches, they split in their ideology. One came from a high-minded, humanistic, lenient mindset who cared about the people, and the other one was like, man, we passed that now. These are the WASPs. We care about certain people, but we more about we got to stay on top of this financial thing. Now you got to understand something about politics. See, no matter which party is in, what you don't know and what you don't understand about either party of decision that they made in 1832 is that no matter which party held office, they decided that they were going to be holding to the status quo. This is a fact. And the status quo at the time were very, of course, the railroad barons railroads who were building the railroads, and the people who oil was becoming a huge commodity in the country. Of course, they're trying to phase slavery out, but still there was a lot of wealth made on slavery that the barons controlled. And they were able to back these particular candidates, whoever they were running for, and they were able to create laws, but not to challenge wealth, but to keep the government as a functioning tool between the two entities, the politicians and the super wealthy. And they would create this thing called the government. Now, as I said, the liberal man came from a lenient group of people who always tend to look out for the poor, who always tend to look out for the downtrodden, which is the poor just the same, but still, this is the ideology that this group came from. So they were from a progressive group, so to speak. They really believed in progression, but they believed in doing it through grants and these type of programs. So this is the ideology that joined forces with the Mississippi Freedom Party and locked into it and got control. They really didn't get control of the White House. To tell you the truth, the ideology was already in the White House. Now I'm getting ready to tell you who the white liberal are, where he comes from. But you got to understand, because I've already revealed to you where the white conservative mindset, they were the WASP. So the white liberal over here that everybody is really afraid to really say who he is because they're afraid they'll really get some heavy come down for identifying the white liberal. He comes from two powerful religious groups. And one religious group comes from, this is where the finance talk comes from, folks. One religious group had thousands of years of dealing with money. And I'm getting ready to tie that in as how we are in this situation as we are in today. They had thousands of years of experience of working with money, unlike the people over here on the right, who thought because they were rich barons and they had all this money, but they really didn't know what to do with it. They had so much of it, they stole it and garnished and tricked for it so quickly that they didn't know what to do with it once they got it. And still don't in a lot of ways to this day. But what happened here, digressing to how they had a stronghold in the White House, is they were Catholic. And the Kennedy administration was already in the White House and started implementing programs to balance out what they viewed as the racial issue in the political party. And they were beholden to the Democratic Party in a lot of ways. And they felt obligated to work out things with black people. And now that introduces the other party, who has the long-standing history with finance, the white liberal that they really fear the most. He's Jewish. That's right, people. He's Jewish. And that's why they know they can't mess with him. Because see, he's heavily backed. See, he comes from a proud history, a proud tradition, and he's tied to it for thousands of years back, and it's written, and nobody can deny it or denounce it, debunk it in any way. And when he got in that White House and he got control, he said, okay, all right. So now this is how we got into this huge financial quagmire that the nation is in today, that a lot of these so-called conservative people want to blame on you black folk. But I'm going to just tell you, it ain't just you. It ain't just you. It was greed. And it's greed on both sides. But see, the fox over here that I was telling you about in the last video, the fox, because black folk had to choose between the fox and the wolf. And since it's in politics and we're new in it, one thing it didn't take us long to catch on to is the concept of what have you done for me lately? And the white liberal was willing to accommodate that. Where the WASP over here, he didn't have that kind of history in his background of being concerned about the people like the white liberal did. The WASP was he came from an uncaring mindset. He can't deny it. It's right there in his history. Just all you got to do is just go check it out. It's there. So I'm gonna get to the, like I say, I tell you, I'm gonna get to the white liberal, what I feel like he need to change. See, he ain't gonna get out of this either. I just ain't talking about the white conservative, what he need to change about himself. I'm telling you people, I'm really gonna be, you see by the time I'm done here, you know, with all that involved on the finance thing. Let's keep it going, because we're going to get to the math and the taxes and everything. So the liberal man, this is where he becomes the fox. He's smart. He's more clever. He's so clever. I'll tell you, I got to hand it to the people. I'm not mad at the white liberal. He just was smart. He was smarter than the wolf. The wolf wanted to devour us. But the fox was smart enough to say, yeah, I'm going to bite him. I'm going to bite him, but I'm not going to devour. I don't want to devour them. No, that ain't right. So, how did he get so powerful, though? That's what we trying. How did he get control? How did he get his people in there to get control of the political thing? They're smart enough to know it takes money. And this is how they worked it out. Now, sure, they'll let those people up there at the top get that oil money and all that big money up there. Okay, fine, that's fine with us. But see, these people were smart. They knew in those black communities, their people owned those businesses. So yes, we want welfare. Yeah, we want those people to get welfare down there. We don't want those women out on the street, not when my uncle and my grandma, not my cousins and everybody over there own that property. And they know that welfare woman ain't going to be able to keep that money and live high on the hog like the lie is told. And she going to be sitting around getting high on her welfare money and still keep her places down there. Oh, no. Yeah, that money goes into that community, but who owns all those businesses down in that community? The Jewish people. So that's fulfilling their coifers and the vault and everything. Give those people all that welfare money because they got to come give it to us because we know we know and they know they can't keep it. And then them landlords, they should have been ashamed of themselves knowing that that woman with them 5 and 6 babies couldn't keep that apartment up. And y'all putting them in 1 and 2 bedroom places and know they got 7 and 8 children. But they getting all that money, and once you can see all those babies, you can keep that rent up where you can get the larger portion of that money. But you will have some compassion. You'll allow her enough to be able to eat. But she really can't eat on it because she still got to pay lights and gas and all that other stuff. And whatever that man who was in that house, who's sneaking in and out of that house, you understand? Because we know what they're doing. It's all, we understand it all. And y'all do too. And that's why you allow it to happen. Because you don't want your money cut short. Because black people or whoever is using it, they're not keeping that money. That money is going right back to you. Now this is where the economy gets bad. Because the middle income group, they're paying the taxes, and the lower income group is paying a lot of taxes too. Don't let them fool you, lower income group. You pay a lot of taxes. You pay a lot of taxes. They tax you on everything at every turn. Paycheck, when you go to the store, when you go to get gas, whatever it is, they taxing you on something. So you pay a lot of taxes. But guess what? This is where it gets bad. Yes, there's a little, it's kind of like this how they do with this economy thing. It's kind of like a tire on your car. You see the slow leak in it at first, and you don't go get the slow leak fix. You just keep putting air in it. And you roll and you roll. But eventually the tire gets to the point where, all right, it'll still take air, but the hole is going to get a little bigger and bigger. And now you rolling, but you're still rolling. You're still rolling, even though the air is sneaking out a little faster. So then you try to put a patch on it. And okay, the patch might last a couple days, but then eventually the patch will break. And then the tire is no good anymore. Well, see, that's what they're doing when they keep dumping a few little bit of taxes in. Okay, but the rich won't pay no taxes. See, they don't want to pay. They'll put a little bit in, but they don't really want to pay their fair share. So now the government is completely unbalanced. Now we got to borrow. Because they got to keep, paying welfare. They got to keep paying a military budget. They still got to keep giving Israel billions of dollars each year. See, they got to keep doing these things. And they're not replacing this money that they're having to put out. So they blame it on the lower income group. It's y'all's fault. But no, it's not our fault. No. It's their mismanagement up at the top. But they trick you into looking down at each other. And that's the reality of the whole thing. See, so there's no that's why I say I'm not a member of the Democratic National Party anymore. That's how come I said I'm going to try to look at another way of dealing in politics. Yes, I will vote on certain issues. I will continue to register, but I just won't register as a Democrat. I'll register as a citizen of the U.S. But I'm not going to be beholden to a party anymore until we try to find out a better way of dealing in this war that we are in. Now, the mission for the conservative or the liberal, my bad, the white liberal. I want to look at you and let you know your experiment is over. It should be over now. You should see that it's not working. The experiment where you want to eliminate and cut out the black man in his home, it's over, sir. You have to start facing that reality if you want this mess that is going on down in this community, in our community, to straighten up. And all this cutting the welfare budget, that is not the answer on neither side. Yes, I agree. There needs to be a readjustment of the system. But education, it should be the goal of the system. That's right. You should not allow those people to just sit on home all day long. I agree. But when you call those people in for these so-called little job programs that you're setting up in these so-called facilities for welfare, they're a joke. They're nothing but teaching people how to fill out applications and go do job searches. No, it's time that you re-spend the money and start setting up skill centers at these doggone county facilities or welfare facilities and start hiring people that can teach these people true skills and create jobs where they can use them, and stop outsourcing jobs out of your state even. The hell you talking about out of your nation? They're outsourcing them out of the state sometimes. It's time, white liberal. Your game is over with. It's something else. This situation about these children, how you make them look so bad in the media, trying to criminalize us all the time. That's over with. Black Democratic Party members, you need to start addressing these issues and stop playing with these people within this party. And I'm going to start knocking on the doors of some of these people. I hope we can get a call out to start getting these people that we elect in these positions to start doing their jobs. And it'll be our job to see that they do their job. It's really getting tiring. The same old madness, the same old unemployment. It's terrible how it is out here. Educated black people can't get work. Here in this city, over 18,000 black people showed up for 300 jobs. 18,000. So that lie about black people don't want to work needs to cease and desist right now. At this moment, anytime 18,000 African Americans show up for 300 positions, you're not going to lie and tell me my people don't want to work. My people want to work. And yes, I think it's time we should look at that and stop depending on white folks for work. I just wondered how many young scientists were standing in that group. How many young cinema people were standing in that group. How many young future politicians is in that group. This is the new angle, black people. We're not going to be depending on Mr. Charlie to do it for us anymore. We have to work at this. We have to get inside our minds. And we're holding you accountable too, black conservative. You better stop getting on these TVs disrespecting us. And I may say this in the next 20 videos. I don't care. Because I'm going to be coming after you. You need to get stronger about yourself. I just look at the things you say on TV, how welfare is this, and how those decisions was made in the 1960s and still affecting us to this day. Well, doggone it, you can't have it both ways. Because anytime one of us will stand up, a real black man who believes this to the core of his soul, that anytime one of us stands up and say that conditions of slavery still affect us today, y'all are quick to say that ain't possible. But you will stand and say that a decision that was made in the 60s still affect us today. You can't have it both ways, fellas. Either that decision didn't affect what's going on today, just like that decision in slavery doesn't affect us today, or either the decisions made in slavery affect us today, just like the decisions that were made in the 60s affect us today. Now, you can't have it both ways. And that's why we are quick to say that what happened in slavery still affects our people today. We are still a fearful group. We still distrust each other, and I'll be addressing that in my next video, how we can work on that. Bear with me here. Yes, we are in a struggle, but I keep saying it is not a hopeless struggle because I believe that to the core of my soul. It is not a hopeless struggle for nobody. I do think that we can and we will work on this black conservative group, and we have to let them know that they cannot run away from us. We cannot allow them to continue to practice mental segregation of black people, and they just as black as we are. We can't allow them to continue to do that, to separate themselves like they're a better group. And if it's got to be like that, let's just scrap the whole group on both sides and start all over and give a new message to the babies. Give a new message to the young conservative future babies and the young conservative little low-income babies. We got to get them both together and let them recognize their power. This is an army, like I stated, that is totally unpolished, and we got to get better about shaping it up. That is our responsibility, to shape this army up. We have to make it see value in itself through education. And when we see these conflicts, stop being scared and speak up. Let them know that what they're doing is not so much as, they can't see that it's detrimental to us as a group. So help them understand that how detrimental it is to them, that how detrimental it is to their mama, how detrimental it is to their family. Let them see that that foolishness in jail has got to stop. That willingness to want to jail, to run to jail and support that system has got to stop. That willingness for them to want to run and stand in front of that judge, be he white or black, and still of the white mind and design. He will have to not want to be standing in front of that person with that robe on, and to have himself be totally disgraced, or her, because then it does become a mark on you once they become a stat. And stats are very misleading, especially when they're black stats. You will get an impression that they put these stats out here because they want to do something about it. But no, that's not the case. It's those stats that they release about black on black crime and homicide. Those stats are not put out there because they're concerned about that situation. Those stats are released to keep your esteem low. Don't be fooled by the smoke screen. They're not releasing those stats out of concern. They'll say black people were responsible for 41% of the homicides. That might be true, but what the hell about the other 59%? Y'all don't call that white on white crime. No, that's just considered crimes committed by Americans. That lets me know what you think of us as a group right there. You don't seem to understand that. But anytime you say the 59% of the other homicides was committed by Americans, that let me know you don't think much of us as Americans. And then you wonder why and can't seem to understand why a lot of us are in this quagmire thought and position that we seem like to feel like we in, that seems invisible to everybody but us. But I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to get into that. Not totally buy into that mindset, but to understand it. I'm not going to use it as a force to hate. But I'm not going to let you just get by with it neither. I'm just not. My next video is going to be about the solution, black people. As I told you, when I created this channel, yeah, as much as I rant, I work on solutions. I honestly do. And I hope you will be ready for it. I'm hoping you'll have some pens and pads ready, because it's real stuff that I have researched, soul searched on, and I truly believe that it can help us as a group. I really do believe it will. So join me on my next video, because we got to get off that GOP plantation without a doubt, and we got to get off the DNP plantation. I agree with that wholeheartedly. We got to really think outside the box. And as far as I'm concerned, thinking outside the box is getting off by both parties and trying to form our own party. Let's get our youth ready in the future. It'll be over for me anyway. I ain't worried about me. No, I'm not really worried about me. I get it now. I'm too damn old anyway. But I'm talking about for the future, when I'm long gone. We can bring forth, we can, let's say, turn this situation around that we're looking at now. Maybe we can really turn it around if we just preach a new message. We don't need no more leaders. Leaders is old. No, they kill leaders. And they hang leaders upside down on the wall on videos. That's what they do to leaders. No, we don't need no more leaders. We need a leading message. See, I think that's what I understand what Dr. King wanted now. He was letting us, he did let us know he could be killed. But he left a legacy and a message. And now I get it. And that's what this is why my next video, I'm going to be spreading the message. See, I'm coming with a whole different, I'm going to throw a wrench in everybody's situation, as far as I'm concerned, from this channel. I'm going to throw a wrench in it for everybody. I'm going to throw a wrench in it for the black conservative. I'm going to throw a wrench in it for the white conservative. Everybody got to refix their engines. We all got to just get back there and retool this whole situation in this. We truly got to come to the round table. This time, when we negotiate, we really going to practice true political correctness, because we going to get it right, people. We going to get it right. Believe that. I swear to you, I'm not just kicking garbage. I really see the value in this community. I don't care. Yeah, you accuse me of being pro-black, whatever. I don't care. Maybe I am. I truly believe I'm more pro-human, who just love his own skin or his people. And if I'm wrong for that, then sue me. What the hell? Woo! This is so beautiful, people. But y'all know it's time for me to end this thing. And y'all know how I end this thing. No matter who you are, no matter where you are, No matter what skin you in, it is your responsibility and your duty to get yourself on the happy trails. And if you can't do it, hit me up and I'll tell you how. Love and peace to you, people.